YouTube, it's Tired Night, you tuned Ty's Life. I'm about to be reacting to the victims of Larry Bird, but this is part 2 of this reaction. Yeah, it's part 2 of the victims of Larry Bird. I reacted to the first half of the victims of Larry Bird, and reacting to the second half. Yeah, it was pretty good. As I finished off the video, I was talking about how I didn't understand why Laimbeer would provoke Larry Bird, would try to play dirty with Larry Bird, like it was gonna help him at all. It just made it worse. Yeah, Larry Bird dropping 40 points twice in the finals and losing in 6 games. Not in the finals, in the East, I think it was Eastern Conference Finals or whatever matchup they had in the playoffs. But they lost in 6 games, 4-2. So it's like bro, it's not helping. So yeah, that's what I was basically saying. I'm probably gonna play the clip right before I finished my video talking about that situation, but so it could lead into this better. If you haven't watched part 1, also drop your favorite clips of all time in the comments so I can make my video, because I'm gonna react to my viewers and subscribers favorite all-time NBA clips, highlights, moments, all that. So just do that, and yeah, about to get into the video. Like, comment, subscribe. From the last episode of Bill Laimbeer is tripping. I'm just playing. This is from my last reaction, part 1. This is how I'm gonna start off the video and then lead into my part 2 reaction. All right.
One of them. Seriously, Bill Laimbeer wasn't just disliked, he was despised. To Detroit, Laimbeer was known for his physical play, tough defense, and hard work ethic. But around the league, players viewed him as dirty. He clotheslined, elbowed, flopped, and taunted, turning basketball into a brawl.
Barkley gets in the left. Laimbeer will come back with an uppercut.
Even his own teammate, Isiah Thomas, once said, quote, "If I didn't know Bill, I wouldn't have liked him either." And Larry Bird, he hated him the most.
By Laimbeer, and he pulled Bird to the ground. He slammed him to the ground.
And none also seemed to be the Celtics' chances in Game 5 of a playoff against the...
Quote, "There's nothing about him I respect."
I never really ever liked Laimbeer in any social situation.
No.
Yeah.
And it's because he was a dirty player.
Right.
He had to do what he had to do. I understand that.
The tension between the two first boiled over in 1985 in the Eastern Conference semifinals. In Game 2, Laimbeer delivered a pair of offensive elbows to Bird's face, opening up a cut.
Got it back, so they reset it at 5. Laimbeer walked with it, then committed a foul. Knocked Bird.
He retaliated on the scoreboard. Bird went off for 30 second-half points, torching Laimbeer's Pistons and securing the win. Over the series, Larry dropped 40 points twice and sent Detroit home in 6 games.
I don't understand why Laimbeer even, like, I know that's his game, right? But that's not going to work for everybody. You're going to try to hurt Larry Bird. Larry Bird's not coming off the court. Let's get that straight. Larry Bird's not coming off the court. As we all know, he went through all those back injuries, and he was still playing. He was still putting up good 20-something points a game when he got older. He had back injuries, but he's not coming off the court. Even if you elbow him, that's just going to get him more upset, and he's going to have 30 points in the second half. Like, and he's going to beat you. Like, you're adding fuel to the fire. Like, dirty players, I really don't get it. You can't do that to players that are all-time greats. Larry Bird at that moment, he's probably the greatest player of all time at that moment. Him and Magic, like, they're probably the greatest players of all time. It's probably debatable based off of Kareem and Will and those guys. People are probably debating still, but really, realistically, if we're thinking about it now and like who is the best out of that era right now, thinking about it, it's either Larry or Magic. Either Larry or Magic or Kareem. Those 3. But you could say Larry Bird was the GOAT at that moment. You could say that. So it's like a guy of that stature, a guy that ability, a guy with so much IQ, a guy that has that goes off of just fuel. Like if you give him a reason to go off, he's gonna go off. He could do that. He could take over the game if he wants to. So to play dirty and to upset him is not gonna work for you. He knows those mental games. Like, if you try to get into his head, he's going to take advantage of that and dominate you. Like, he's going to kill your team. Like, you just lost the game for your team. You're not helping your team. So, I know that's his role, but his role is not to lose games. It's not for his team. It's not to egg on superstars so they can drop 30 in the second half. That's not what the coach wants. So, yeah, I don't get players like that. Just like Draymond Green, players like Draymond Green are just like, I get it, but it doesn't always work for every player.
His teammates should have told him, hey, Bill, it's never a great idea to get Larry fired up.
Exactly.
In the 1987 playoffs, the two got into it again. In Game 3, Lambier clobbered Bird with this crazy takedown.
Yeah, he's tripping.
Bird righteously tried to knock Lambier's head off, leading to Larry's only ejection in his entire career. So a few games later, Bird delivered the moment that broke Detroit and Lambier's spirit. In Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals, the Celtics were down 1 with just 5 seconds left. Isaiah Thomas just had to inbound the ball and run out the clock. Instead, Bird steals it, and in one fluid motion, whips it to Dennis Johnson for the game-winning layup. This play became one of the most iconic moments in NBA history.
Crazy.
And for Lambier, it became the final reminder. You don't mess with Larry. Over their careers, Bird didn't just beat Lambier. He embarrassed him. Outscoring, out-rebounding, out-assisting, and of course, out-winning Lambier. Because some players you go toe-to-toe with, but guys like Bill Lambier, you punish them. Now, the next few victims are great examples of Larry Legend and his devastating trash talk. Remember, Larry's trash talk was different. He didn't say things like, you're trash. Instead, he told opponents what he was going to do before he did it.
I get a charge from testimony. Second shot.
For instance, in 1986, during a tie game with the Supersonics, Larry Bird told Xavier McDaniels, quote, I'm going to catch the ball right here and shoot it in your face.
I said, I know I'll be waiting. And he said, I'm going to get it right here. I'm shoot it right here.
Now, that's a bold move, considering there's only 4 seconds left on the clock. Now, one of the league's most athletic defenders knows what you're trying to do. But still, it didn't matter. And as if that wasn't embarrassing enough, Larry Bird said this.
Spot. Shot in the face. I didn't need to be 2 seconds on the clock. 0 seconds.
The story always kills you.
Imagine that. Larry was upset, not for doing exactly what he said and winning the game, but for doing it too quickly. Bird finished the game with 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. Celtics won the game 104-102. Sorry, X-Man. Now, in 1986, Larry really must have been on one, because a few months later, Bird told the media he would play his next game against the Trailblazers with only his left hand.
Told all of us and the media, he said, tomorrow night's the last game of the trip, I'm going to play this one left-handed.
Did Bird shoot left-handed for an entire game against Portland?
Still down there.
Not the entire game. But most of it.
It's down deep with a good position.
Crazy.
A little pump fake.
He wasn't kidding. Larry made 10 of his 21 field goals left-handed. Most players struggle to score at all in the NBA, let alone only using their offhand to score. To add insult to injury, Bird finished the game with 47 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists,
Crazy.
including this game winner.
I'm super prepared. That is a shot you.
When asked after the game why, he said, quote, I'm saving my right hand for the Lakers. 2 days later, Larry and the Celtics beat the Lakers by 6 points. Now, if you're a Portland fan, don't feel too bad, because one of the worst victims of Larry's legendary trash talk came in 1985, when he destroyed the Atlanta Hawks and somehow his own teammate.
Remaining in the third. Bird for the bomb. Got it again. A three-pointer. You're seeing the backs in. Close to that Bird. Takes the jumper and hits it.
I don't know what it is, but Atlanta Hawks always get it the worst. I don't know if it's because Dominique is probably the most. I don't know if I would say the most competition as far as like a one-on-one player, and like one-on-one matchup in the East. Let me know who else was it, because there was also who was in the East? There was Pistons. There was Atlanta Hawks. Who else? Who else was pretty good back then? I'm not 100% sure, but Dominique Wilkins, I know he always been a bucket, but it's like scoring doesn't get you so far with Larry Bird. It's not all about just one player scoring, but he always tortures the Atlanta Hawks. Like it's not even a game. Like he snaps every single time. He had 60-something points against them, and there was another matchup where he had like 30, like high 30s. Dominique had 40-something, probably high 40s, I think, or mid 40s. Still lost. Like Dominique would do everything he can. He's gonna score. I think Boston does that a lot. They let one player score, but if your supporting cast is not helping you, then you're not gonna win the game. It's not possible. Like you can't. It can't just be one player when you go against a whole all-time team, probably top 2 best teams ever to play at that very moment. And you can even debate that's the same. It goes the same as for now. Like they might even be top 2 best teams of all time right now. I'll probably do a video for that. I have to really think about that. But yeah, Dominique and the Atlanta Hawks used to get tormented. Like I feel bad for them, because it's like no matter what they did, no matter how many points Dominique had, because Dominique will always play well. He would always score a high total. He would have to, but to keep it entertaining and to keep it competitive. But they always got killed by him. It's crazy.
Bird the follow-away, tough shot. Here's Bird's follow-away again. They call technical foul, and they want him to keep scoring too. Bird takes a jumper and hits it again.
Crazy.
Bird has 54. Bird, 14 seconds, he got fouled. He hit the shot. They're not going to count it. And Bird falls in. Will try another jumper and hit it at the buzzer. Bird has 16 points.
On March 3rd, 1985, Kevin McHale scored 56 points. His performance broke the Celtics' franchise record for most points in a single game, a record that Larry Bird previously held at 53 points. After the game, Larry told the media that Kevin should have gone for 60 points, almost like he was predicting something. Because just 9 days later, Bird scored 60 points against the Atlanta Hawks, but he did it in the most dramatic fashion. From the start of the game, Larry was hot. He made finger roll layups,
The floater is good.
step back jumpers, and split passes with ease. Per usual, the shooting clinic came with a healthy dose of Larry's trash talk. All night long, Larry told the defenders the exact shot he was going to take before he did it. In 3 quarters, Larry scored 42 points. But in the 4th quarter, Larry truly caught fire.
Bird, foul shot. And they're looking for him. That's a tough shot there.
It seemed like every shot he took went in. Doc Rivers remembers that Larry even called this one, quote, off the glass and into the trainer, which sent the entire stadium into a craze, including the Hawks bench. The Atlanta Hawks players were so shocked that Larry was actually calling his own shots, they celebrated like they were the ones sitting on the Celtics sideline.
Crazy.
Mike rewound the celebration 20 times. He just kept, not just shot, he just kept rewinding it, showing the guys, you remember, they're giving each other a high five.
And then Bird finished the game with 60 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. That night, Larry reclaimed his own franchise scoring record and literally turned the Hawks bench into his own cheerleading section. It remains one of the greatest shooting exhibitions of all time and a classic Larry legend story. Now, the next 2 stories you might be familiar with because they happened later in Larry's career. The first is when Larry turned the greatest shooters in the NBA into second-place losers. The 1988 All-Star Weekend featured a star-studded lineup. Magic, MJ, Kareem, Bird, Malone, Wilkins. But one of the standout moments came from the Larry Bird Show. I mean, the 3-point contest. Before the event, the 2-time defending champ, Larry Bird, walked into the players' locker room and said this. We all know who's winning this thing, so who's coming in second?
And to do it all. He has such great confidence, and I think the biggest advantage he has, Steve, is the fact that he believes he's going to win every time he steps out there. 30 seconds left on the 60-second shot clock. Yeah, he's got the rhythm going right now.
The three-point competition, walking in the locker room. Who's playing? Did you really say that? Who's playing for second?
Yeah, I did.
The entire room was shocked, but Larry wasn't joking.
Target today. You see Larry finishing off. Look at that smooth rhythm. The shot.
Now, you'll notice something different about Larry and the rest of the shooters. MJ certainly did.
Gee.
You took out his top yet.
Truth be told, Larry didn't need to. With the entire arena watching, Larry skated through the early rounds until he found Dale Ellis, a career 40% three-point shooter, in the third round. With the contest on the line and his title at stake, Larry hit three-pointer after three-pointer, and with just a few seconds left on the clock, did this.
He's still going to drop one here quickly. 14. This is a tie for the money. Larry Bird at the buzzer with the 2-point ball. 17.
Oh yeah, he kept his warm-up jacket on too, just to prove a point. Remember, from afar, Larry Bird didn't look like a killer. He looked like an oversized garbage truck driver. But he was one of the most dangerous players to ever step foot on a basketball court. Why? Because he was always 2 steps ahead of everyone. Always. Larry saw the game like a chess match. At 6'9", he had the size to bang with the big men, but the touch and vision of a point guard. He could shoot from anywhere. He could pass like magic. And if the team needed a rebound, a stop, a clutch basket, he delivered it.
Facts.
It wasn't just this skill set. It was his mind and work ethic too. Larry was a true blue-collar professional. He lived in the gym, working on his jump shot and footwork for hours.
Yeah.
Larry once said, quote, "A winner is someone who recognizes his God-given talents, works his tail off to develop them into skills, and uses those skills to accomplish his goals." That was
Very
Larry.
factual.
He didn't waste movement, didn't play for style points. He played to win. And his resume speaks for itself. Sure, he wasn't the fastest. He couldn't jump out of the gym. He didn't have crazy handles, but it didn't matter. Because Larry played the game from the neck up, and few could ever match him there. Of course, there was one thing he couldn't outthink or out-tough. His own back.
Couldn't think, couldn't move, couldn't run. You know, if you can't feel your feet, it's hard to run.
It all started one summer in the mid-'80s, when he heard it pouring gravel to build his mom a driveway. The injury never fully healed, and year after year, it got worse.
This is Larry Bird, the superstar, out there breaking his back, literally shoveling gravel. And that was the beginning of a process.
By the early 90s, he could barely sit through practice without lying flat on the sidelines. But somehow he kept suiting up. And in 1992, when the greatest team in basketball history assembled, Magic begged the injured Larry Bird to make one last run. By 92, Bird's body had betrayed him. He was in constant pain, and years of grueling play and chronic back injury had taken its toll. So as the Dream Team prepared for the Barcelona Olympics, Bird mostly sat on the sidelines and relaxed. That is until one day, Coach Chuck Daly planned a scrimmage against a group of elite college players, including future NBA stars Chris Webber, Jamal Mashburn, and Rodney Rogers. Bird, ever the provocateur, greeted the young squad with a warning.
And he looked at us and he said, "Get some fucking rest, it's gonna be a long week," and walked off. And we was like, what the hell?
Now, the young college kids were honestly more starstruck than scared, so they actually started off the game hot.
Like the first 15 minutes, we kicking their ass.
And they actually beat the Dream Team in a scrimmage. Now, Rodney Rogers, perhaps feeling emboldened, said this.
He said, "Hey Larry, you ain't hit a jumper since '84.
Big mistake. The next day, Bird methodically scored on Rogers, announcing each move before executing it.
One dribble, pull up, going left, off glass. One dribble, going right, spin, shot, bucket."
After the masterclass, Bird, with his back aching, laid down on the sideline to rest. As he did, he looked at Rogers and said,
"Young fella, look like '84, huh?"
Incredible. Larry Bird didn't just beat you. He made you remember it. Players came in cocky, coaches thought they had a plan, and fans thought he was just another big, slow white guy.
Nope.
They all left the same way, shaking their heads, looking up at the scoreboard, and realized They just been taught a lesson. Some players chase greatness. Larry made it look inevitable. Another shot, another win, another victim. If you enjoyed these longer videos, please let me know by subscribing and ticking on the notification bell. I'm working on the victims of Michael Jordan, and it's going to be epic, and I don't want you to miss it. Either way, I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Yeah, I gotta react to that. Victims of Jordan. This was a good video. It's a great video. Yeah, all the way down to McDaniels, X-Man. I already reacted to that before. Yeah, it was cool. It was funny to me. I think that's probably the funniest story, because like when Xavier McDaniels was explaining the whole story, it seemed like he was traumatized by what happened. Because Xavier McDaniels, he's known for his defense, very athletic. He was a good scorer too. Like he was one of the top players in the NBA. But it's like he wasn't on Larry Bird's level. Larry Bird is definitely like, he was probably like an OG back then, but like he was still close to his prime, or maybe in his prime, playing against him. But it was just so funny because it's like, it looked like somebody that had to go through a situation where they could not do anything about it. Like they weren't gonna succeed against Larry Bird. It just looked like he just tried everything he could. He just couldn't do anything about it. The man told him about it before, still did it to him, and he looked like he was still in shock explaining this story. And then yeah, Pistons, Lambier is never gonna learn. He's still gonna play how he plays. That's probably how he remained in the league and was on the Pistons, because that was his role. But like, his role kind of messed up the team in a bit, because like, okay, if you're not egging on Larry Bird, and Larry Bird is just comfortable, and Larry Bird has one bad game or a couple bad games, probably not. Maybe the Pistons could have got the Celtics, but no, you egged him on. He had a couple 40-point games that ended it in 6. Like, come on now. That's because of you, because you're talking trash. You could have had a chance, but you have no chance egging on Bird, because when Bird is locked in and ready to kill, and he's like, I'm winning this game, there's no way I'm letting you win this game after playing dirty like that. It's nothing you can do at all. Like, you just gave them the series. And then, yeah, I think my favorite part was Xavier McDaniels one, but I honestly feel like my favorite was Bobby Knight, when Bobby Knight was avoiding playing Larry Bird in NCAA. That was crazy because he was on Indiana University, but he had to leave because he didn't like it out there. He dropped out of school, came back, went to Indiana State. But Bobby Knight knew who he was going against. Like, he knew who he was going against. Come on, like he had to know. That's why he had to avoid him, and it was very possible because they weren't in the same conference. They didn't see each other in March Madness. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can avoid the guy for 3 years because he knows what he's going to do to his players. So yeah, that was a great video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want me to react to next. Recommend videos to me. Yeah, I'm being in Jamaica, but I'm going to try to record as many videos today so I can plan it out for the next 2 weeks. That's how long I'm going to be in Jamaica. So yeah, don't worry. I'm going to try to work to get videos out every day, if not every day, every other day. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. With to say a prayer. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Whoever's watching this video, bless them from the crown of their heads to the soles of their feet. Allow them to be the best possible people they could be with God, and lean on God in every situation, and put him first, intentionally put him first, and allow them to know that everything will fall in place. Always give them that spirit of hope, knowing that God's got them as long as they do everything they need to do their due diligence, follow the book, and if they don't, allow them to repent, and build a relationship with God and show God that you love him for who he is, and he will always be who he is. So we have to stop worrying, because he's always going to be in our corner. So in the name of pray, give everybody a sense of hope and encouragement, and reminder that you'll always be there for them because you love them. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So stay blessed, stay lit, and I'm out.